Hello, this is Amos. I just want to record a quick video to young people living in Nigeria. I've received a few phone calls or messages after I posted about a program called the Gen Innovation Awards. This is a new initiative that was starting in the US, but people from all over can basically work towards this. The goal was to do the hands-on innovation project in the US, and then people can win awards like the Nobel Prize. We're going to have the GEN, which is Gauss Euler Newton Award. That was the idea, and that's still something we want to advance in America and beyond. So for those who are in Nigeria, if you have an idea or an innovative solution to the challenges of the time, you can try to package it and write a paper about it. And I would love for you to submit your proposal to amosthestemguy@gmail.com. amosthestemguy@gmail.com. So Amos the math guy and Amos the STEM guy, right? I have them on the board. Combined will be, we call it STEM excellence by God's grace. So Amos the STEM guy plus Amos the math guy equals STEM excellence by God's grace. And what is STEM? STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. Now I've changed the definition now. I've added a little bit. So it's actually STEM squared. It's science, technology, engineering, and math, and symbolic logic, theology, economics, and medicine. So you could put another STEM plus STEM. You could combine it using the rules of exponents. Okay, here's the point. If you're in Nigeria, I've received a call of someone mentioned the difficult situation, and I can tell you that I came to America later on, right after my secondary school education, and I can tell you that there are challenges, very serious challenges, and I am sorry about the situation. In terms of limited opportunities for young people. And those who are in America who might be watching this might not understand the gravity of the challenges that young people face. In America, for example, if you want to go to university or college, if you're open to going anywhere, like a community college or a trade school, whatever, you can have those opportunities. There's opportunities around the nation. But in Nigeria, it wasn't that way for me. When I graduated in 2005, I actually had to be at home basically potentially for up to 2 years. And it's not like you're at home and you can get a job and that's it. No, it's like you're at home, and those who are getting some of the jobs at the restaurants and so on, some of them have degrees already, right, from universities, and they're working at the restaurant. So it wasn't like you could just graduate high school, get a job until you go to college. Those were not options available. So again, they're very difficult. So what would I recommend today for young people living in Nigeria? Well, back in 2006, so remember I graduated 2005. In 2006, I realized that there was an opportunity to encourage young people by the grace of God to go to their schools and talk to them about how to pursue excellence in learning. It was during this time that I wrote my book, Pursuing Excellence Pursuing Excellence as a Young Person, which came out in 2006. And then in 2007, when I left, I was able to get that out so people could read the book. The other thing I did in 2006, this is just a sketch, right? These are some remnants of a sketch from 2006. And what it talks about is, it talks about this place, this center of learning. It talks about leaders being taught and people becoming great leaders. It has a lot of stuff dealing with education and academics. Why am I bringing this up? Because one thing I want to encourage you to do in this situation that you might find yourself, and this applies to everyone around the world, but especially if you're in Nigeria where there's limited opportunities, is I want you to nail down your vision and your skill sets, right? So for example, this book is called Career Planning for Teens. So, and then this pamphlet is called Entrepreneurship. We're gonna have a series on this. So please stay tuned. Email amosthestemguy@gmail.com if you're interested in this course, and I will give you access to this course on my Teachable site. For those who are applying from Nigeria to go to school in other countries, I will give you this course for free. It's a career planning course, and what I think is important in the course is you will learn the importance of having a vision and then looking at your strengths and your skills, and how can your strength and your skills fit in with your vision, right? So we need to talk about vision. We need to talk about, what do you want to do with the life God has blessed you with? It is unfortunate that corruption is eating deep into society. There's a book by Dr. Rob Osborne called Taming the Beast. Can we bridle the culture of corruption? And then there's another one here called A Letter to Africa About Africa. And if you look at Africa, you notice that it's dark. There's no electricity in most of it. And that's the case for many people in Nigeria. How do you tap into resources and learning when you don't have constant electricity? Well, the first thing I would encourage you to do in joining me as I try to help from here. Well, actually, I do want to say we do have a partner organization in Nigeria called Spark Learn, which we started, and then we also have Atlas. So Joseph is the one who oversees that program. Email amosthestemguy@gmail.com. We have resources in Nigeria and connections to help you to navigate life after secondary school. So you're done with secondary school, you're not yet in the university, what can you be doing? Joseph is a great resource. But one of the first things you want to do when you email amosthestemguy@gmail.com, what you want to do is make sure you write a little bit about your vision. Where are you headed in life and what do you want to do? We want to see if there's ways to help support people in Nigeria while they're still in Nigeria, right? So here's the steps, a few steps you can take. I would encourage you to get a binder or a notebook. Get a binder or a notebook. Write down all your strengths. What are the things that you are good at? Maybe it's mathematics, maybe it's chemistry, maybe it's physics, maybe it's fixing cars, maybe it's, whatever the skills, just write them all in the beginning of the book, okay? So that's number one. We need to see all your skill sets. Number two, what is your vision for life? Where would you like to see things 5 years from now, 10 years from now, in terms of your work world? Like, how do you want to change the world, right? What ways do you want to make things better for other people? We're going to try and run a Gen Innovation Camp in Nigeria. I don't know when, but someday, God willing, we're going to run a camp where we bring people together to do some innovation, creative collaboration ideas, right? When you look at the history of science, which is another thing you would do, dedicate a section of this to the history of science. As a matter of fact, as I release courses in my subscription-based model, if you're doing the tasks, right? You've graduated secondary school, you have a binder, you're writing about your vision. If you continue doing the assignments that we're talking about, we will seek to provide you with online curriculum, online resources, right? Free materials to help you strengthen your foundation in math, strengthen your foundation in science, strengthen your foundation in the history of math and science, right? So please, if you want to, if you see America or England as opportunities for you to go for your education, before you go, why don't you spend the time now strengthening your math and science skills? Now, what if you don't go, right? What are some things you can do in Nigeria? Well, I think by studying the history and philosophy of science, we can better understand the people that gave rise to the inventions that have brought us to where we are today, right? We think about people like Michael Faraday or James Clerk Maxwell. They were doing work when electricity wasn't very common, right? Like Michael Faraday was involved in electricity and magnetism work. So why don't we study them together? I would love to see us do maybe a Zoom class for students in Nigeria that talks about the history of science and mathematics. So please email amosthestemguy@gmail.com. I'll connect you with Joseph, and then I'll also see how you can tap into the online courses we have that will prepare you for whatever the future holds by God's grace. So let us work on career planning. Let us work on exploring careers. Let's make sure that we know the different careers that you're interested in and make sure that we have that established. If you email amosthestemguy@gmail.com, I will give you access to some of the materials, some tools for mastering mathematics. So if you email amosthestemguy@gmail.com, you can get some of these resources. They will help you to strengthen your math skills, and then that way, no matter what you want to study in the future, math is not a hindrance. So a few more books as I wrap up. The field of study that is growing a lot these days is artificial intelligence. So this book talks a little bit about its implications, 2084. This will be a good resource for you to read as you think about just areas of education today. This is part of what's cooking right now. There's a book called What the Bible Says About Dealing with Difficult Times. I can tell you, based on that call I got today, that there are many people going through difficult times, and we can go back. The Bible says, there's a song that says, my anchor holds, right? When your anchor is in Jesus, there's hope in life. But even when the current situation might be difficult, don't allow that to stop you from growing and learning from others who had difficult situations. So lastly, Mary Slessor, this is a good biography, so read biographies. Try and find some free biographies you can read. And then I have some other books I can talk about later, but there are people that would argue, and then of course, How Now Shall We Live by Francis Schaeffer. Some people will argue that, hey, you don't understand my situation, or college is going to solve all my problems. I would argue that that's not true. The first step is you need to have a vision. So please subscribe for more videos like this and reach out to Amos the STEM Guy.